G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of Pete's Gold Adventures. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. Actually going to do a bit of a tips and tech session, basically on what I've sort of learnt over the years. If you guys sort of pick up on even just one thing off of it, that's got to be an advantage to you guys. So basically today we'll run through a few scenarios, tips on the way the 45 works. I'll give you a little bit of info on the GP3000 because I had one of them quite a few years. And yeah, just basically a few settings and how things react differently to the different settings. Yeah, so basically I bought out a few coils today. So if we have a look down here, I've got my old trusty 12-inch elliptical. That's one I got with the 45 when I originally bought it. So basically I've had that since about 2009. Little Sadie coil there. As you know, I only just recently got that one not too long ago. 16-inch Advantage Nugget finder, so the big one when you want to sort of get a little bit of depth. The factory 11-inch Minelab coil, that's a double D, that one. And then we've got the Evolution 14-inch elliptical there. Yeah, might pick a choice. Basically I got this pick shortly after I started. As you can sort of see, it's basically it's the biggest one I could get. My theory is I don't mind carrying around a big pick when it makes digging a whole lot easier. So you have to dig one of those big holes, heaps easier. Yep, the old detector, yep, the GPX 4500. Yeah, it's been an awesome machine. I've had it since, yeah, about 2009. The battery's probably getting a little dodged now, but it's still going pretty well. So today's little test subject, I've brought a few bits of gold out with us. Alrighty, so that one, that's about a 9 grammer, so we'll run him over that. We've got a 7 grammer there, 5.4. I think that one's actually about a 5.4 as well. A 4 and a 0.8. That 0.8, I actually found that about November 2003. It's actually my first bit of gold I found when I got back into it after sort of getting out of it through the 80s. Alrighty, so I'll just set up and we'll get rolling. G'day guys. Alright, first thing we're going to do, we're just going to run through some settings that I generally run. Righto, so basically with the 45 I run in mono all the time. That's generally what I run in. Always run in fixed. These machines are really good, so you don't really need to run them in tracking at all. You're better off running in fixed. You hear it go out of balance, which could be every 5 meters. So if that's the case, you just hit the green button, give it a balance, and yeah, let it off. I always, in the soil timings, always run in enhanced. It's rarely I change these settings actually. And in the search mode, yeah, it's just general. And your threshold, basically have it so you got a nice constant sort of hum that's audible. So basically if you hear any of those small signals, yeah, you'll just hear an alteration in the basically the threshold volume, and you know you might be on something real small or real deep. So, and yeah, the auto tune button, basically if you've got a little bit of interference, electrical, atmospheric, hit that button and yeah, just wait till it sort of sorts itself out. Which will change the channel that it's on. All right, we'll just swing around the back. Oops, you get a lot of the pick there. Alrighty, so basically on the back, I hadn't noticed how grubby the back of this is until I went to do this, but so basically, yeah, the function settings, backlight 2, that's pretty here nor there. Battery test, that's, yeah, if you care about that, that's tells you how much voltage you got, but yeah, basically try and keep it as charged as possible. Volume limit, it's on 13 at the moment. 12 is its factory preset, so we'll just roll with lucky 13. Click down, ground balance type general. Basically that's a factory setting, so it basically is what I run in majority of the time. Special sharp. Alright, generally that's in sensitive smooth. I was just mucking around with it. So generally I run in sensitive smooth in the settings there. So it comes up as special smooth. Manual tune. Now this is if you don't have to wait for the thing to do its own manual tune. If you're somewhere within the vicinity of a decent tune, you can just spin the button, and it just might quieten down itself, saves you having to wait. So yeah, if it's running smooth, you can hit that button if you like, but if it's running smooth, it's probably okay anyway. Right, motion. I always run my motion slow. When I done the Minelab course, basically when I got this machine, they said run in slow, go slow. That's what you do. So I've always stuck with that. RX gain of 9. Basically, what's your factory? 8 your factory. 9. Look, you can run it as long as it's got a nice consistent threshold and it's jumping around. If atmospheric gets up, you've got to back it off, but you can run that up 9, 10, 11. It just depends whether it's running smooth or not. If your ground's a bit hot, you might have to back it off also. Audio, I always run in quiet. Factory preset's normal, but yeah, I've always run in quiet with that one. Audio tone 50. Stabilizer 10, same deal with your RX gain there. I think factory's 10. Yeah, so you can run that up. Depends on the ground, atmospheric. You can play around with that. If it's running nice and smooth, you can run it up a little bit. But yeah, other than that, if it's a little bit hot, the ground, you can back it off. Signal 16. Target volume 10. Response is normal. I'll talk a bit later, but yeah, you got normal and inverted. Inverted will always make your signals go low high. So some people like that. That's the way they like to hear their signals come in. In normal with the 45s, in these settings I got running, you'll actually hear any target or gold basically over 2 grams will actually invert. So when you get a nice inverted signal, when it goes low high, you'll know that you could possibly be on something good, and it's probably over like a 2 gram plus nugget. Anything under, like your small gold, will always go high low. A lot of trash, you'll hear it just go off, it'll scream, it'll go high low. So you basically, sometimes you'll know that the target is going to be just trash, but dig it all, knock it out of the way, make sure it is trash. You don't want to be giving away a big nugget that's on top of the ground. Tracking in medium, iron rejection off. I never use the iron rejection, I think it's pointless. And that's the bottom of it. So that's about it. That's basically the settings I run bulk of the time. So in saying that, yeah, we'll go over a few little targets over here and show you a few little settings. First one, I'll just show you like the 14-inch going over the 9 grammer. You'll hear the signal, like I was saying before, the signal will invert, it'll go down up. So when you get it down up, they're great. You get the smaller ones won't, and trash generally goes high low. So if I go over that, so you hear it go down, then goes up, down, up. So basically, a lot of these will all do it because they're all over 2 grams effectively. So 7 grammer. So you hear that distinctively goes down first. So this one, same deal. Same deal. Down low, but this one, so you can distinctively see that that one goes high-low. So basically, any gold, lead shot, anything like that under 2 grams will give that little mellow signal everyone sort of likes to hear. So basically, yeah, they're the nice little sweet sounds. And basically, anything over grams a bonus these days. They're getting harder to find. So a lot of your gold you will find will be the sub-grammers. And then occasionally, yep, you'll be banging one that's a gram plus, and hopefully, yeah, you can get up into the 10s, 12s grammers. But yeah, look, 90%, or probably more than 90% of your gold is going to be like sub 1 gram basically with these machines. Like they'll ping the little ones, and like I say on earlier videos, I'd rather get a little tiny one than nothing at all. So I'll never say no to a nice little target. So basically, I'll show you another thing. It's another feature with detectors. Say say you've got a giant target, and like it's just screaming its head off, and like say you're trying to stick your detector down a hole, and basically you cannot identify where the target is. So you could be sticking it down the hole, and basically yeah, it won't tell you where it is. So what you can do is just flip your machine over, go into the coil RX settings where it's in mono, click it to cancel. Cancel basically kills these coils. It kills monos. So basically now, nothing. So basically, if you've got a big screamer in a hole, you will not be able to find it in normal, like running in normal mono, because it'll be going off its nut. But now, because it's in cancel, it won't go off until basically it's within a couple inches of it. So if you're having issues and you haven't got a pinpoint or anything like that, basically stick your machine in cancel if you've got a mono, go over your target, over your hole, and if it's not making any signal, you know you're still a few inches away, so you can keep digging, widen your hole. But if it starts to make a signal, you know you're really getting close. So that's one feature with a mono. With a double D, it's a different scenario. So I'll chuck the old double D on soon, and I'll yeah, explain that one. Alright guys, righto, I've swapped over now to the double D coil that comes from Minelab when you get the machines. So basically I'll show you what I was showing before with the mono, how if you put it into cancel going over a big target, it actually doesn't work with the double D. It actually keeps on working. So if you run over, so it's just a giant ugly signal up on its edge. You can't get close. So if you're down a 2-foot hole and it's just going off its nut, and you've got a GP like double D coil on, if you actually flick it to cancel, so we'll get on the cancel now and wait till it does its thing. So now it's on cancel with double D, doesn't make any difference. It will basically do the same deal. So basically with the double D, you don't get that good little feature with the mono that you can actually pinpoint your target within a deep hole by putting it on the cancel, because double D doesn't make any difference. One good thing about being able to cancel double D is it will not pick up electrical interference from other machines. So if you were to go along to the Wedderburn Detect Jamboree, which is coming up in March, and you run one of these machines, don't put a mono coil on it, because you'll pick up every other machine coming near you, and guys are running around pretty crazy. So put on your double D, put it into cancel, and you can run around all day, and you can be right beside someone and it won't make an ounce of difference. And good thing about it, I haven't been up to the Wedderburn for quite some time, thinking about it possibly heading up this year, because it is a good weekend. I've actually found more gold on Hard Hills Reserve than tokens, so I've probably been up there, I don't know, 8 to 10 times over the years, and yeah, I've found 20 plus nuggets up there. Nothing too drastic. I think biggest is about 1 gram, but apparently one guy found an ounce at one time. So if we just pop over here, so basically this is still in cancel, and I'll show you something that it doesn't seem to make a whole lot of difference if double D's running in cancel. So that is still quite audible. That's on the 0.8. Right, we're clicking into mono. One thing I was saying earlier, yeah, I ran a GP 3000 for years. Somewhere along the line, someone told me to run your 3000 in mono. Apparently it sends and receives on one side of the double D coil. Monos like these on 3000s, you really struggle, especially with the mineralization in the ground around here. They're not quiet, and 3000s weren't an overly quiet detector, unlike the 45s, which just sort of hum along. But so basically this is now in mono. As you can see, not a whole lot of difference. And we'll click it into the double D. Wait till it does its thing. Give it a little balance. We'll roll over. And there she is. So if you listen to that, and we put in a mono, I'd actually have to say that mono, with the double D, running a mono, that is a whole lot louder. So I've got a nice little march before I get in the ear. So basically, yeah, look at running your double Ds in mono on 3000s, 3.5s, 4000s, right through to 5. Yeah, I find it just works so much better. I found a lot of small gold that way. So closing on that one, yeah, if you're running your double D on your, like basically your 3000 right through to even the 5, stick it in mono. I believe it works better. That's my experience. I ran with it like that for years and had great results. So look at just test it, try it out. If you want, find a river bank that's nice and square. Get your masonry drill a hole in it so you can shove nuggets up at, say, even 6 inches, foot deep. Then you'll be penetrating through real ground. It'll give you the best results. This is sort of a little bit easy, I suppose, because they're sitting right there. So air is not the same as dirt. So yeah, do some testing. Can't hurt. Another thing with your 3000, you didn't have the little green button to change it. 3000s, I always ran mine in fixed. They didn't like tracking. Basically the machine tracked too slowly, and I found that you didn't get good results. You could hear it go out, and before the auto tracking could catch back up, you'd walked 5 meters. So basically they had a switch in under here. You flicked it across to fixed, started bouncing your coil, and then fix it back to tracking again. And then that was the best way I found, and it was the only way to really quick balance your 3000. So that was with a 3000. Once I went to the 3500s, I had the green button. So the green button only did what the fix and tracking button did under here. So you hit the button, balance it, let it go, and then away you can go. But don't rely on auto tracking to do the job for you, because it doesn't. It's too slow. So to keep the balance the best it possibly can be, manually balance it quite regularly, and that might be every meter. It might be 3 meters, might be 5, but as soon as you start to hear it go out of balance, hit the button, balance it up, or on 3000s, flick it to fixed and back again to tracking. Righto guys, now we're just going to run the double D over the nuggets. I've left it in, well actually we'll do a little test. It's in mono at the moment, so if we have a listen to a 9 grammer in mono. See? That's quite audible. Put it into double D. Like, if you ask me, I reckon the response from in mono is actually better than the double D response in that case. So, like I was saying, if you're running double Ds, run them in mono. They just, I believe they work better. You guys might have a different opinion, but yeah, give it a crack, give it a try, and just see what you come up with. Righto guys, I just sort of show you this little nugget here. This one, it's a bit of an ironstone sort of with gold sort of wrapped all around it. Weighs about 5.4 grams. This one is my oldest nugget that I've actually kept. I had some good ones. Back in the 80s, I ran a Garrett groundhog. Basically, all you found back in the 80s was like, well, this is 5 grams. It's probably one of the small ones. You found more half ounces, ounces. The biggest I've found back then was one that went just over 2 ounces. Came from the same place as this one. Funny thing is, if everyone watches the Aussie Gold Hunters, the paddock they're actually currently in now in Poseidon, back in the 80s, my family was in conjunction with another guy, actually dozed that paddock. Not where they are, it's just up from where they are now, so it'd be interesting when they get there to see what they come up with. But this nugget, and a 2 ouncer and a couple of other half ounces, actually came from that paddock they're in at the moment. So yeah, when they got to that part in their show, it was actually quite funny. And sort of, yeah, we never dug down with an excavator like they did. We only like pushed feet off basically with a dozer. Yeah, a little higher up the paddock. So it'll be interesting when they get up there, see what they come up with. But yeah, oh well, something interesting anyway. Anyway, that's about it for today. I've sort of ran through things briefly. If you've got any more sort of questions or queries about settings or features or how to run through things with coils and so forth, just leave your questions in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Like I said, there's a little disclaimer. This is what I've sort of learned over the years. Some people will agree, disagree, but like I said, if it's one thing you learn from this that you can take out into the field, that could be a huge advantage to you. So yep, well, thanks for watching. Yeah, like, share, subscribe, and catch you on the next one.